Hi, this is Lonya with another StarCraft 2 commentary, and this is a game between a couple of Korean players. It's a Protoss against Zerg. I'm not sure who either of these guys are. It's on Xel'naga Caverns. They're hopefully pretty decent players because they're spamming away at over 200 APM at the moment. The map's Xel'naga Caverns, pretty decent map for Zerg. In the GSL at least, it's been really favourable to Zerg, especially against Protoss, with them winning, I think, all the games. It's I think 6-0 for Zerg against Protoss, and pretty favourable for Zerg against Terran, partly because of the nice open areas, and nowadays since the patch it's pretty easy to take this expansion and hold off any kind of early pressure. So the Protoss has got his work cut out for him, and we'll have to see if he manages to take a game off the Zerg on this map. Also, it's pretty nice because the Zerg can kind of expand quite a bit and just go all over the map, and it looks like we got, oh no, just doing the extractor trick, not getting a gas up. So it looks like he's just going for slightly, fairly standard opening, slightly disfavourable to do the extractor trick on most pull timings, but not a huge difference either way. And we'll have to see how this game develops and whether he does decide to go for an early hatchery or whether he's going to go for a pull first, which is what you often see, kind of more defensive play, getting the pull first. And the Protoss has a lot of options he can kind of do. He could either go for some kind of early pressure with gateways, with a robo, Stargate's a viable option, getting some Phoenixes out, stopping the Zerg, getting some Mutalisks, and then just putting pressure on that way. But it kind of depends on how you want to play it, and it's kind of the Protoss that in some ways dictates the way that the game's going to go. And so we do have a pull down before any hatchery, and it looks like the Protoss is going to try and stop that hatchery going down in the end, but at the moment Flutter just getting the pull down first. Not even sent the drone down at the moment, possibly because you can see with that overlord there's a probe just sat there ready to block, ready to put a pylon down. So he's just kind of waiting, might wait till he gets a couple of lings out, which will be quite a delayed pull. But he's got his drone over here, sees that there's not much coming, not much happening, not even chrono boosting the Zealot out, so he's not worried about too much kind of very early pressure. Getting the 7-8 squad just going down as you'd expect, and the second gas should be going up any second now. Yep, there it goes. So completely standard from the Protoss at the moment, no kind of telling of what he's going to do exactly, not going to put on hugely early pressure. The Zerg still restricted to the one base at the moment. That probe's kind of run away, he's not put a pylon down, so now's the opportunity to possibly send out a drone, but it doesn't look like he's going to do that. He might be going for, well, I'm not really sure because he's not got any roaches out. He's just building a couple of Zerglings, getting the Zergling speed. This is what you'd expect, but he's still not sent anything out to take that second hatchery, which is really what you'd think he would be doing by now, since he's on 21 supply at the moment, and normally you want to get that out pretty quickly, especially when you can tell that the Protoss isn't putting on any pressure. So now he's finally getting it down on about 20 to 21 supply, I think, and just one Zell out at the moment, chrono boosting out, I mean just getting the warp gate technology, not even chrono boosting that out, getting another pylon down, so playing fairly standard opening, and not really too much going on at the moment. So it doesn't look like the Protoss is going to put on massively early pressure, despite the fact, or possibly because of the fact that that hatchery was delayed, and he knows that the Zerg is going to have a chance to build up a few units. But I'm kind of surprised that the Zerg did wait quite so long to put his pull down, and especially against this kind of economic Protoss opening. And he has seen pretty much that that's all that there is at the front door, and it looks like we are going to get a Stargate, so we're probably going to get a Phoenix build, which is, or can be really effective, especially if you force the Zerg to get lots of Hydralisks, which often happens, but then the Zerg can get infested and just kind of fungal growth the Phoenixes, let the ground units like the Hydras go to work on it, and take them down pretty quickly if he's good, or if you get enough Queens out. So we'll have to see if he knows, or when he knows that that Stargate's there, which he doesn't at the moment, but he's got an Overlord kind of hanging at the back. He'll see a Gateway going down, and it'll be interesting to see whether he decides, or whether he knows that he's going for Gateway or not, and he's getting a Roach Warren, so that's not really going to help him. Not even getting a lair up at the moment, so basically the only anti-F for Zerg is the Spore Crawlers or the Queen, and not even Spore Crawlers since he doesn't have an Evo Chamber out. And he's got to know that the Protoss is doing something in terms of army, since there's no expansion going down, so no early expansion. He's only seen 2 gateways, hasn't seen the Stargate, which is pumping a Phoenix, and he's still not getting his lair going up anywhere, so it could be pretty interesting. He's not getting any extra queens at the moment, just got the 1 queen from each hatchery just to inject lava. Second gas now going up. just now started to layer, so it's going to be interesting. He's only going to be able to get out a few Phoenixes, and he's chrono boosting out the Phoenixes just off the one Stargate, getting the Nexus up now, which the Zerg has seen, so he knows that he's expanding, he knows that he's got at least 2 gateways, but he doesn't know about the Stargate, and it'll be interesting to see whether he does decide to go for a Mutalisk, or whether he decides to go for Hydralisk once the layer does pop, and whether he decides to sacrifice an Overlord to get some extra vision, and then he'll know, unless the Phoenixes come out sooner, but he's got a lot of sentries here so he can defend his ramp. And he hasn't seen any tech in the Zerg base at the moment, doesn't know the layers on the way, doesn't know that Roach down, but he's got enough sentries there that he should be able to block his ramp at least. And he's getting a forge down, so he's going to be able to basically secure this expansion with the forge, with some cannons on the front door, just to make sure there's not too much chance of Flutter the Zerg doing a little run by. Not that he's aiming to do that at the moment anyway. 3 Phoenixes out already, getting another one coming up. Just check the units, 29 drones against 38 probes, so really the Zerg just sitting on these 2 bases, not being aggressive, not feeling the need to get too many defensive units, because he has got those lings kind of poking around on the front door. You can see basically everything that the Protoss has, just the sentries, a few stalkers, but he's got to be thinking, he's just getting this up now, he's not gone for the main economy game, he's not got a huge amount of units out, he's got to be getting something that is going to put some pressure on me, and it's not a warp gate rush. So what's it going to be? And now he knows the Phoenixes are there. It's just coming to his base, so we'll have to see whether he decides to quickly react and get a Hydralisk then down, or get some more Queens out. But he can't get Queens out on this hatchery, and the other ones are just still upgrading to the layer, so he can't do anything quite yet. But the layer's done. Now he's got to get a Hydralisk den out, maybe get some Infestors down, and really, yep, Hydralisk den coming up. But these Overlords all going down, 73 out of 70 supply, this is going to be the big thing. Will he be able to get any out when it comes down to it? Killing the Queens, which is also really important. No Queens being built anywhere whatsoever, so he's going to be short on lava when the Hydralisks are already able to pop. He's going to be short because he's got to make Overlords, he's going to be short on supply, and he's just getting some Hydralisks out now, but only 4 of them, and if these Phoenixes have enough Rabadon beams to lift up 4 Hydralisks, then that's basically going to shut down all the Hydralisks. He's still not getting any Queens, he doesn't have enough minerals to get any Queens. Killing so many Overlords, he's going to have to spend all his minerals on Overlords, all his lava on Overlords, not going to be able to get any Hydralisks out. So beautiful play by the Protoss, really unprepared from the Zerg, just not getting any scouting information really whatsoever. And really, these roaches which are over here should be doing something at least, even if he's just putting maybe on some pressure at the front. And now we've got the Hydralisk up, and he's used up his Graviton beams quite a bit on the drone, so he doesn't have enough to deal with the Hydralisks. But if we check the drone count, it's 37 probes against 44 drones, so he's kind of got back on the economy. He's forced him to spend a lot of minerals getting more and more Overlords, and I'll see 2 kills, 2 kills, 5 kills and 7 kills, so that's a lot of Overlords, because that's mostly Overlord kills and the Queens, and that's all about 100 minerals each. But he does lose 1 Phoenix finally, and he's forced a lot of Hydralisks, and now he's getting up on the production tab. You can see he's getting a robotics bay, so he's going to get Colossi out, and they're just going to eat up these Hydralisks completely. I mean, he's got Roach support for Hydralisks, and Hydra Roach can be pretty decent against Protoss, but it just depends with the force fields. If you can force field well, you can basically split out that force, stop the roaches getting near anything, and then those Colossi can go to work. But it looks like we're going to have an aggressive move out. Oh no, he's just going to go for gold, going to try and get some more minerals up. Really, he should be considering being aggressive, since there are just Phoenixes out, and he knows, or he should know, that it's going to be take time to switch, get the Robotech up, and it looks like he's getting Burrow as well, and I think the Roach movement, but Thermal Lance isn't up yet. Number of Colossi out, none. So basically this is really the time where the kind of Protoss is a bit behind in terms of he's got a lot of Phoenixes, and he's spent a lot on the Phoenixes, and he hasn't got anything out that's kind of more useful in terms of destroying the ground force. And he's getting a couple of Evo chambers up so he can get some more upgrades going. Not got tunneling crawls, even though he's got Burrow, which is pretty interesting. Although actually no, sorry, he's probably got Burrow just so he can burrow everything against these Phoenixes, stop him being able to damage the drones. But since he's got it, there are cannons on the front door, so it wouldn't be too useful in terms of moving in the roaches to get too close, because these cannons have got detection. So he's kind of had to get Burrow to protect against the Phoenixes. It's a pretty defensive move, rather than getting spore crawlers around, which he's doing. No, he's not doing that to Spire, so he's not getting any spore crawlers. He's just going to stick with Burrow for defense against the Phoenixes. But there haven't been any more Phoenixes produced, just those 4 at the start, and that's been it, and that's done pretty much enough damage. But it looks like since he's getting to Spire, probably for Corruptors against the Colossi, he's going to know that there are Colossi out. He's going to know that since the Protoss has forced the Hydralisks and the Roaches, it's going to be basically an army to counter the Hydralisks and Roaches, and obviously the Stalkers get bonus damage against armor. The Colossi are really good against light, so basically Stalker Colossi really decent against Roach Hydra, especially when you get the force fields just completely splitting up the force and messing it up completely. And it looks like, yep, we've got some force fields going down, but really you should kind of consider backing off. The force fields only 2 out and now 4 out, that's a bit better. Phoenix is going to work on the Overlords as well to stop them being able to reproduce too many forces, because he's got loads of Overlords and loads of things dying. Everything dying for the Zerg at the moment. Basically lost all his forces to this nice forced composition by the Protoss. Just knew exactly what was going to happen from the Zerg, knew exactly what he needed to do to counter that, and now there's not going to be any mutalisks really coming out that are going to be able to help this. He's just pumping Roaches at the moment, which are good against the Colossi. They're going to live against the Colossi, but they're going to die to the Stalkers. He's taking down the Starbase as well, which is even worse. He's killed a few Overlords, but not enough to make a difference. But the fact that there are so many Overlords around, forced from the Zerg, is why he didn't have as many forces and he wasn't able to get a decent attack enough. And now he's using that burrow. I don't think there are any observers actually. He's just been using that robotic space to just pump as many Colossi as he can, as quickly as he can. So burrow being pretty effective here because of the lack of observer, lack of detection. So really, maybe he should have used that a bit earlier when he was going to lose his forces to those force fields. Because if he just burrowed at that one moment when those force fields were up, he could have escaped and got his forces basically out of there, because there was absolutely no detection. So kind of a missed opportunity there. I think the burrow was completed at that point anyway. And even if you're losing more drones and more overlords to these phoenixes, there's 6 kills on one, 8 kills on the other. He's still got way more overlords. Well, no, he doesn't have way more overlords. He needs to build some more overlords again. Just keeping those phoenixes around, just harassing in the back. The forces of the Zerg have got to be at the front. The phoenixes are able to harass at the back, and he's got a couple of corruptors out, which isn't really going to do too much, especially when you've got this many stalkers. Just because there's so many colossi and so many stalkers, he'll just be able to shut down the corruptors, and the corruptors won't be able to kill enough. But now he's got a few more out, pumping some roaches, and really I think he should be getting on the roach den. He should be getting borrowed movement, just because he can just position his forces wherever he wants, and there's still no detection out. I think no, there is one observer out now. So there's only one observer out, which is now with the main army, so he's just missed the window where he could have had borrowed movement and could have just gone around and done almost whatever to his force. And now force field again, ouch, but not quite good enough. Still killing some units, got the observer out, now he's going to be just kill all the creep, and basically this is it. This is big Protoss ball, killing all the creep, killing the army because the composition is exactly what he wanted, and it's a good game for the Protoss. Forced what he expected from the Zerg and just went on and won easily with that force. And you can see just the corruptors not able to do damage quickly enough, all the roaches going down. The Hydras pretty much can't do anything. The Stalkers just going to be able to sit underneath these corruptors, take them down completely. Absolutely nothing going to happen now. Even when all these colossi are down, these corruptors are going to be basically useless, and the rest of this Grand Army can just go in and, yep, Flutter GG's. Good game from the Protoss. Basically controlled the game, forced the Zerg to do exactly what he wanted and exactly what he expected, and the Zerg kind of played along with the game and couldn't really do anything to stop it. So well played by the Protoss. Kind of pretty easy once you force the Zerg to do what you want them to do and you know exactly what they're doing, and pretty poor kind of early scouting by Flutter, not knowing that was coming and not setting up any defences. So well played by the Protoss, not so great from the Zerg. Good game overall from both, well, good game from one player, and hope you enjoyed it.